Yes,
I
sir.
didn't start. Okay, no problem. Okay. So I want to tell about MBR. Is it necessary like MBR GPT? No problem. Small point I will tell guys. Here it is. MBR and GPT concept. So we are discussing about a hard disk. So whenever you insert a new hard disk, it's a fresh hard disk. When you insert a fresh hard disk in your system, it asks you, do you want to assign this partition style as a MBR type or a GPT type? Okay, I will show you that one. So here it is like this. I insert a new hard disk. It is not initialized and it is asking, do you want to initialize as a MBR or a GPT? So whenever you insert a new fresh hard disk, okay, okay. So when you insert a new hard disk, okay, so it is a fresh hard disk. It will ask you whether you want to initialize as a MBR or a GPT. These are the partition styles. Okay, partition styles. It will ask. So how it is asked? That is, I have a picture like this. Okay. So, so sad it is. Now it is good. I insert a new hard disk, guys. Either you have to initialize MBR and GPT. Think like this. You have a fresh system. It's a fresh system. No operating system inside. It contains a new hard disk. No operating system. And it contains a new hard disk. Now you want to install a OS. You're installing operating system. Okay. This hard disk is not a MBR and GPT initially, but depends upon your framework. You are using a BIOS type of framework and your hard disk is MBR type automatically. Okay, you are using BIOS. Your chipset is, your ROM chip is BIOS type of chipset you are using. It by default it is initialized as a MBR. Your chipset is UEFI. Okay, instead of BIOS, it is UEFI. So newer version is UEFI. So your hard disk and depends upon operating system. Guys, here it is. If you are using a latest operating system like a Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 11 type of operating system, and you have a UEFI, then it is GPT. Here it is, whatever the operating system, while you are installing operating system, whatever it is operating system, and you are having BIOS, your hard disk is initialized as a MBR. Okay, so these are the things what I am trying to say. Okay, so what is MBR? Master boot record. What is MBR? Master boot record. What is MBR? Master boot record. GPT GUID partition table. Okay, so you can select either MBR or GPT if it is asked. Table. Okay, so this is MBR or GPT record will store in the first track of your hard disk. Whether it is MBR record or GPT record, is stored in a first track of hard disk. Why this story, guys? Again, look at here. I'm creating a partition. First, I created a partition. So that is a primary partition. Second primary partition. Third primary partition is created. So in generally, we can create in a olden days 4 primary partitions. We can create 4 primary partitions in earlier days. Okay. For example, you created a 4 primary completed. The remaining wasted. Wasted. You cannot do anything with that one. You cannot create any other partitions. So otherwise, recently means from Windows 7 onwards, Windows Vista 7 onwards, you don't get any choice. Once 3 primary completed, when you create a 4th partition, first 3 partitions by default primary nowadays. Once 3 primary completed, the 4th one is logical partition in the extended partition. So this entire remaining things become a extended partition. Inside, what are the partition you created? That is called a logical partitions, like this. Okay, so this is called a extended partition, and multiple logical partitions you can create it. So three primary and remaining become extended. In extended, you can create a multiple logical partitions. Logical drives we have to tell, not logical partitions, because partition itself logical. So your hard disk is MBR type, means you can create a 3 primary, 1 extended. In extended, you can create a logical drives. Okay, and each partition size, the each partition support up to 2 terabytes. Partition size is maximum 2 terabytes, up to 2 terabytes of partition size. Okay, so this is MBR, master boot record. MBR, master boot record. You can create a 4 primaries or 3 primary and 1 extended. In 1 extended, you can create a logical drives. And each partition maximum support 2 terabytes. GPT, GUID partition table. GUID partition table. You can create. Okay. You can create multiple partitions, almost like a 128 primary partitions. You can create it. Okay. You can create a 128 primary partitions. Answer. Each partition support more than 2 terabytes. Okay, and up to 18 EV as per certain textbooks. If you search in a Google, it will get a different type of sizes. I am telling from the some authorized textbooks from Microsoft and Red Hat. Okay, maximum size is 18 EB. Okay, this is about your MBR and GPT. So what is that? It is nothing but a record which stores inside your hard disk first primary part, like this. This is content. This is the MBR record stores here. This MBR record contains information about your partitions. Okay, number of partitions, size of the partitions, location of the partitions. Okay, primary partition, logical partitions, extended partitions. This entire information stores in this MBR record, including operating system location, bootloader locations stored in the MBR record. Okay, guys, once again, MBR and ZPT, master boot record, and GUID partition table. Master boot record, GID partition table. So if you want simple, I'm inserting a table is easy, but we should not put a table always. Okay. So this is a hard disk, for example. Okay. This is MBR style. Okay. So this is the first partition, primary partition, second primary, third primary. The remaining is become logical drive. Means remaining partitions are logical drive in the extended partition. Okay. So look at here, primary partition, primary. These are the logical drives. Multiple logical drives you can create it, but 3 primary only you can create it. This is extended. Okay, so it's like that. Next one is GPT. So GPT is a very simple. Okay, we can create a 128 primary partitions. No extended, no logical partitions here. So not no logical drives, no extendeds, only directly 128 primary partitions you can create it. Each partition size support more than 2 terabyte, means up to 2 terabyte, more than 2 terabyte, like that we can able to. These are not primary partitions, but not exactly primary partitions. Can Corona ante ఉన్నట్టు. It will support up to 18 EB. Each partition maximum support is 18 EB. No logical drives. Or no extended. Guys, no logical is different. Logical is means partition is logical partition only. Why to create a partition? So to store data in separate places. So why to create a partitions? Simply to store data in the drives in separate way. Okay. So one more is there. Yeah, it is. I keep telling one more. Don't worry. Once I done some part, then I will tell another part. Okay, this is called disk management, guys. What is a disk management? Is a disk management to manage your days. Okay, initializing the days, bring a disk into offline, online, convert your basic disk into dynamic days, convert your MBR to GPT or GPT to MBR. Okay, are creating a new partitions, shrinking volume, extending volume, deleting volumes, or volumes management, like a RAID level management. These are all comes under disk management only. But of course, we are not server guys, so we are not using servers here. So we are very simple. We don't get it. So we can see this simple volume management, shrinking, extending, and deleting volumes practically also. Okay, but the practical part we cannot able to paste here. Here I tried something that is also not okay. I will show you my disk management. To go to disk management, disk mgmt.msc. Okay, guys, look. Okay, guys, understanding MBR GPT.
Yes, sir.
So I want to show you this part practically, but okay, listen very carefully. Guys, my hard disk, I have actually two hard disks. Okay, so one is C drive, D drive, F drive, combinedly three hard disks. Sorry, three drives are belongs to one hard disk. E drive, G drive, H drive, E drive, H drive, G drive. These three are belongs to one hard disk. So I'm trying on this part. So first of all, I will show you my disk management. disk mg mt dot msc disk management. Okay, can you see this is my disk 1, disk 0. Disk 0 is showing convert into MBR. It is disabled, of course, so it is a GPT drive. It is GPT. Disk 1 is showing convert into GPT, means it is a MBR disk. See three primaries, primary 1, primary 2, primary 3. Three primaries. Okay, this is H drive, totally 531 GB. So look at this, 531 GB total space. I'm going to show you from properties. Just try to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, try it slowly. So it is my total 531 GB. So total drive means I have my H drive. Okay, this is my H drive, 531 GB total space. This is H drive. Remaining we have 200. Okay, something like that. Next. Okay, So how much free space? 88.7 GB. 88.7 GB free space. For my practical, I want a 40 GB separation from here. So in H drive, I have free space. From this free space, I am taking 40 GB drive out. Okay, it means I want to cut 40 GB from here. I want to cut a 40 GB from this free space. Okay, I want to cut it. Okay, so if I cut 40 GB, what happened to 531? It is become 491. This space is become my H drive become 491, and the free space become 48.7 free space because I am taking this one. So this process we call it as a shrinking volume. I'm showing first shrink volume. Go like this. H drive, right click, shrink volume. First I'm showing shrink volume. H drive, right click, shrink volume. Guys, you don't do it. You don't do it. I do it. You see it. Okay. If you do mistake. I can't do anything. Okay. Don't do it in your system. Just look at shrink volume. Shrink volume means, so what are this free space in the drive? We can take it out as a separate drive, or we can utilize for different purposes. Shrinking means reducing. I'm shrinking my H drive. Right click it. First of all, it is try to understand what is the free space, how much we can able to shrink. This is a shrinkable value, how much you want to take it. So you have to take either same or less than this one, either same amount or less than this one. I'm taking only 40 GB, 4096. 4096 MB is 4 GB. 40960 is a 40 GB. Okay, this is H drive. Okay, now it is 491 GB. Okay, I'll show you. Refresh. See this properties become 491 GB. 531 become 491 and 48.7 GB free space. User space won't change. Now it is 40 GB allocated. Okay, now I want to create a 20 GB out of it. Okay, guys, this is primary. Mine is MBR. Means 3 primary completed. If I create any partition logical drive, it will be created under extended. I'm not telling it is extended logical kind of stuff here, because when I create, automatically it will happens. Remember, the blue color represent primary partition. This is 40 GB. I'm creating a 10 GB logical drive. 10 GB 1024, 1 GB 10 GB 10240 10 GB. Okay, this is a file system NTFS or FAT32. Which one you want to select, you can select. But while you are seeing, guys, I didn't tell you what kind of partition it is, primary, secondary, something, nothing at all. I'm only given size and the drive letter it is, and this is the file system. Next, finish. So it is a green color border is created. The green color border represent extended partition. Extended partition. The remaining, this green, light green, is a free space. This light blue represent logical drive. Logical drive. Okay. So if you want a full snip in, also it is better. So you can get, this is the primary. This is extended. This is logical drive. It's a free space. Okay. So this is my hard disk I'm taking. This is MBR disk. Okay, so this is the point. Like this, guys, we can create a number of logical partitions. New simple volume. I'm creating only 4 GB. 4096 means 4 GB. Okay, so this is primary completed. Entire remaining is become automatically and extended while you are creating first partition. After 3 primaries, when you create a fourth one, automatically it is a part of extended partition. Okay, so like this. I want to increase this 4 GB to 6 GB. How to increase? I can add this free space to 4 GB. Right click on 4 GB partition, extended. So you can see extend volume. Okay, so this is the free space amount 26 GB. I want to add only 2 GB 2048 is a 2 GB 2048 MB is a 2 GB. I'm adding. Now can you see it is a 6 GB now. This is called a extending partition. So as per my given shrink volume, extend volume completed. Now delete volume. Okay, I'm deleting volume, guys. I'm deleting this volume, J volume. Yes. I will want to show one thing. This is, can you see I drive? This is the I drive and GB I drive. It contains it does not contain anything now, so you can put a certain data. Okay, it is showing, so I am putting some data from somewhere. Okay, so I'll copy some files. We'll put it in a I drive. Okay, so my drive contains some files I can able to access. I want to do one thing, so I go to this I drive, change drive letter and paths, and I remove this drive letter. I remove the drive letter. Okay, now go to this PC. Where is the I drive? Gone. I drive is not showing here, but it is there. Okay, it is there. Data also there. Just it is not showing. I'm adding one drive, some drive letter. Any drive letter. Drive letter is a logical one, just to access. See, it is I drive. Data is there. So drive letter. If you don't have a drive letter, it won't show. Very simple. You can hide the drives. Very simple manner. Go to change the drive letter. Remove this one. Okay, another things also there. Guys, I'm deleting this volume also. Once you delete a volume, data in the volume also deleted. You cannot recover. This is still extended volume. Still it is extended volume. I'm deleting entire this part. Now it is unallocated. What I want to do is I want to combine this unallocated into H drive. How to combine this to this? Combination is extended. Right, H drive, right click, extended volume. Next, so I'm taking entire part, so then finish. Now it is 40 GB is added to my H drive. Now I can put back as a normal drive. Okay, see it is back as a normal drive. 351, sorry, 531, 531 again. Okay, guys, this is called a shrinking volume, extending volume, and that stuff. Okay, this is the hard disk practical. Okay, just for so to know how it is. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the last one is file system is there, guys. So I will tell this one and we'll take small break. Then I will tell a boot processing. So boot processing completed the main hard disk, the party. Actually, these are yesterday's class. So yesterday very less members, and I try to give one some refreshment about classes. It's also a good thing. Okay. Once you define a file, okay, guys, you have a partition. You have a partition, but you have to store a data, right? You have a different devices. As we discussed, you have a hard disk, CD-RAM, pen drives, SD cards are there. You want to store a data in the devices, you need a file system. File system will define how to store data. File system is how to store data in devices. Next one is format is another word. Okay, so we use a format to clean up, right? You have a pen drive. Format this pen drive means remove data in the pen drive. It is actually wrong. Okay. Format means define file system. Which file system you want it? So that is a defining file system is called a format. Your formatting means you're defining a file system. Of course, there is a low level format, high level formats are there. So in Windows, generally we are using FAT or NTFS, and mainly we are using NTFS file system, not FAT. We are not using currently. Okay, so FAT is support up to 32 GB of partition. One partition size is only 32 GB if it is FAT32. FAT32, in FAT also two versions are there. FAT32 support only 32 GB partition size. FAT16 support only 4 GB. Actually, it is not FAT16, sometimes FAT12 or FAT16. Small confusion. It's a 4 GB partition only. Okay, FAT32 support 32 GB. But FAT is a universal file system. It's a kind of universal, means lot of type of operating systems, devices supported by FAT. Whereas NTFS support up to 2 terabytes and it is more than 2 terabytes. Exactly say 18 EB, up to 18 EB single partition support is there. NTFS, we have a certain features are there in NTFS like a security, encryption, compression, quota and indexing. If anybody want to see how this security or encryption quota works, you can search in any of my CTS batch videos. Okay, you can search for a go to playlist and go to this batches, batch 17, not 18, batch 17 kind of stuff. Okay, they have a lot of videos now, so like that. Okay, so NTFS having certain features like a security, encryption, compression, quota and indexing. We don't have a time to explain each and everything. Practically, if you see, you will understand, and otherwise it is not good. It's okay, no problem, guys. We are all using NTFS. NTFS support more than 2 terabyte of disk partition up to 80 to 18 EB. Actually, this is the correct one. Okay, actually, this is the correct one. You are using NTFS. But you know, your pen drives, memory cards use 32 GB memory cards, FAT file system. Okay, but nowadays memory cards are more than 32 GB. So we are going to exFAT instead of FAT file system. Another file system is resilient file system. It uses CRC algorithm to prevent data from corruption. Even a Linux based operating system use file system like ext, ext2, ext3, ext4. When you share a data through the network, so that is use a file system called a network file system. Devices like a DVD, CD also having a separate file system. Universal disk format. Okay, so these are the main file system, guys. In Windows, we use a FAT and NTFS. We are actually using NTFS file system. It supports more than 2 terabytes of partition up to 18 EB partition size, single partition size. Okay, so FAT is supporting FAT32 supports up to 32 GB, up to 32 GB. Okay, okay, up to 32 GB support. Nowadays, our SD cards, pen drives are using more than 32 GB, so then it is exFAT. If you go to your mobile and set anything memory card like a 64 GB, 128 GB, immediately it will ask format to the exFAT. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. These are the mainly file system. What is a file system? File system will tell you how to store a data in the device. The format is a word used to define. Okay, it will tell how to define file system. To define file system. Okay, guys, understand at least one or two names about a file system. Hmm? So next one I will try to tell about a boot processing. Okay, how many are there? 18. Okay, I will see after small break. If very less members,